We are still looking at overcast skies across central Georgia just past the noon hour. Live in Dublin, temperatures have not been able to warm up quite as much because of it at this hour. They're still sitting in the mid 80s here in central Georgia. Let's take out what's going on there on the radar picture. A whole lot of nothing. Not expecting to see much today with temperatures in the mid 80s right now. 86 in Eastman, 83 in Cochran, 84 here in Macon, 82 in Warner Robins. You can see that cloud deck over us at the moment. And really, once you work your way off to the west, the clouds begin to give way, and that's where they've been able to warm into the upper 80s, 87 in Montgomery, 88 in Pensacola. So thank the cloud cover for it not being as hot as it could this afternoon with some showers back out near Mississippi. Now through the afternoon hours, we'll begin to see the clouds fade away. And this latest run of Future View has us getting into the low 90s. I think that's a possibility. In fact, I have our high temperature around 91, but it would not surprise me if we saw a couple spots not break into the 90s today. Then through the overnight hours tonight, this latest run also has us getting just a couple degrees cooler before we get to tomorrow afternoon, and then we rise back into the mid 90s, which I think is a little more realistic for tomorrow, starting off Thursday near 70. And then for Thursday afternoon, flare up of activity through the afternoon and evening hours. That is as a front arrives, that front stalling off down to the south, and that's going to keep rain chances around, unfortunately, through the weekend. But the humidity is not going to be quite as bad. We're in the 70s right now. I expect to be in the 60s later this afternoon. And then for tomorrow, another day near 60, so again, not as humid as it could be. But then here comes that front on Thursday. You can see it pushing some of the moisture out of the way, and we'll begin to look at dew points in the 50s, work their way back into central Georgia. All right, new within the past few minutes, Tropical Depression 13 has formed. It's been officially classified by the National Hurricane Center. Winds of 35 miles an hour, pressure about 1,008. It's way out there in the Atlantic, but the plan is for this to strengthen into a Category 4 hurricane by the time we get to Saturday morning. This is going to be just north of the Lesser Antilles and then just north of Puerto Rico by Sunday morning as a Category 4. And all eyes are going to be on what is expected to become Hurricane Lee, because it's the time of year that we have to watch this region of the Atlantic for any potential impacts into the United States. Now, the million-dollar question is, will this impact the United States? Well, I would say it's a possibility, but not a likelihood. As things stand now, we're expecting it to be a little more out to sea, which means this high pressure here is going to be a bit stronger. But if we get a stronger storm and a weaker high pressure, then there's the possibility that it comes a bit closer to the coast. So really, it's a game of tug of war between this high pressure and the hurricane. But one thing that is for certain as we get into next week is we are going to be looking at large surf up and down the Atlantic seaboard. That is going to be from Maine down through the Carolinas down to Florida. So if you have any plans beginning this weekend and into next week to go visit any Atlantic beaches, you're going to have to keep that in mind as we work our way again into next week. Now back here in central Georgia, we are looking at the daylight going away rather quickly. Check this out, 12 hours and 42 minutes of daylight today. By the time we get to Halloween, that's going to be down to 10 hours and 53 minutes. So the days are getting shorter at a pretty quick clip now. Here we go with the hour-by-hour forecast. Upper 80s. I do think we could touch a 91 this afternoon. It has been a slow warm-up today. Tomorrow will be a bit faster. As for highs around central Georgia, 89 in Forsyth and in Milledgeville, 91 in Macon, 90 in Warner Robins, 90 in Butler, and 88 down in Eastman. Here's your 7-day forecast. 95 tomorrow. So again, a couple degrees warmer with some more sun, some more scattered storms by the time we get to Thursday. That's part of that front that's coming in. That front's going to stall out down to the south and keep a rain chance around through the weekend. Frederick?